Welcome to a brand new edition of the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Raymond Wu. On today's program, we have a first. We have first time official representative of a foreign government to be our special guest. And we have every pleasure in welcoming Mr. Menno Goedhart, the official representative of the Netherlands Trade and Investment Office in Taipei. Representative Goedhart, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here.
It's an honor. It's my job to talk, to work on the relations between the Netherlands and Taiwan.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I'm able to talk about it here.
Yes, and also, like I said at the beginning, we're happy to have you here. You're the first official representative of a foreign government to be on the program. First, start off. We know you've been in Taiwan going on 6 years, and then you've enjoyed your lifestyle here in Taiwan. Can you tell us a little bit about your overall impression of our country so far?
I always say Taiwan is the best place to live.
Why so?
And I really have a feeling that Taiwan is a good place.
Because?
It is, quite frankly, it is a dynamic society.
Of course.
And full of very, very nice people.
Yes. Really
nice people everywhere. So wherever you come, you feel welcome. And then you have the beautiful nature.
Yes.
You have the delicious food.
Yes.
Which the Taiwanese food is absolutely delicious.
It's world famous.
And if you want, you can have your Western lifestyle also, certainly in Taipei. But I prefer the Taiwanese lifestyle. I like it very much. It's really a pleasure for me to be here all those years, and the same applies to my wife.
Okay, good. And also, let's start off by also saying a little bit about your office. The Netherlands Trade and Investment Office in Taipei. What are the primary objectives and the functions of your office in Taipei? I heard that you have over 20 people on your staff. And what kinds of things, what are the roles they perform in terms of promoting the exchanges and the relations between the Netherlands and Taiwan?
Well, we have no diplomatic relations between Taiwan and the Netherlands, so we cannot have an embassy in Taipei, and you cannot have an embassy in The Hague.
Yes.
So we created representative offices.
Yes.
You have your Taipei representative office in the Netherlands, which is in The Hague.
Yes.
And we have the Netherlands Trade and Investment Office. But quite frankly, the task we execute, what we do, is exactly the same as an embassy.
Exactly.
So we have a consular section, we have a trade section, an agriculture section, and higher education section. We do on investments, science and technology, and that's why we need 22 people.
That's quite sizable.
You have to bear in mind that Taiwan is for the Netherlands extremely important, as is the Netherlands for Taiwan. And I think we are the second partner of Taiwan in Europe.
Yes.
And not everyone has realized that.
And also the fact that you look back in the history, there is that ties between the Netherlands, Holland, and Taiwan, back in the 17th century. And also the fact is that we know, especially in the area of trade, investment, and also education, our two countries are very much active in terms of promoting exchanges and relationship. Would you mind sharing with us what kinds of strategies that you have been implementing over the years in terms of promoting those exchanges and relations between our two countries?
It's a difficult question you're asking me.
Oh, it's a very big question, yes.
Because we are covering so many subjects,
okay.
for sure.
But let's start off with trade and investment.
But as to trade and investment, we have our standard promotion activities, like you have with trade missions and participation in fairs.
Yes.
Quite frankly, Taiwanese and Taiwanese companies know well to find the Netherlands.
Yes, of
so
course.
we're helping them a lot with when they come with questions. In the Netherlands, they're a bit less aware of Taiwan than the Taiwanese are aware of the Netherlands. So a great part of our activities is in the Netherlands to promote Taiwan.
Okay.
It sounds maybe a bit special because my colleagues, Taiwanese colleagues in The Hague should do that.
Yes.
But we are promoting with my office enormously Taiwan in the Netherlands to show to the Netherlands companies that that Taiwan is an important cooperation partner.
Yes.
And quite frankly, we are pretty successful in that, but we have to do that. And I just came back last week from a roadshow I made in Holland, where I, during a week, made speeches about Taiwan in maybe 6 different cities of the Netherlands.
Yeah, so there's that increased awareness of what Taiwan does and what's the relationship between two countries are, today. And also in terms of education, you and I talked, before the show about the number of Taiwanese students traveling and studying in the Netherlands. And has that also been the other way around? More Dutch students are coming into Taiwan to study language or other subject areas.
I wish it was true. There should be more Dutch students coming to Taiwan. Of course, there are every year 20 or 30 studying Mandarin.
Yes.
But what we want is to have Dutch students coming here to study science or law.
Okay.
What we are promoting is cooperation between
institutions,
universities, and to have joint programs. And there are quite a number of agreements between universities now, much more than there were 6 years ago when I came to Taiwan. And from that, we hope that we could have more Dutch students to go to Taiwan. There are many going to the Netherlands, many Taiwanese, that's for sure, and it's growing every year.
Yes.
All in master's and in PhD, not so many in bachelor studies.
Okay.
And that is what we like.
Okay.
We like to get the best of Taiwanese students.
Yes.
And the feeling among Dutch universities is that we get the best of the best. The Taiwanese students are extremely appreciated. Yeah,
we generally have very good, student records overseas, especially in Europe and also in America. Taiwanese students generally done very well in school, especially at the advanced, degrees level. And also about tourism. Now, you and I also talked that, my first trip and most memorable trip to your beautiful country was back in the 1990s when I visited your annual Floreada festival, the flower festival. That was very impressive. Left a very good impression of your country and also the city of Amsterdam. Can we talk about, a little bit in depth about the development of tourism, between our two countries? Where, Amsterdam is sort of like a, regional hub for Taiwanese carriers traveling, carrying passengers traveling to Europe. And also, I would like to think that Taipei is also a regional hub for KML and other, European airlines. Has that really been, helping in terms of tourism promotion between the two countries and also between Taiwan and Europe at large?
There are two sides of this.
Okay.
That is the tourism in Taiwan and the tourism in the Netherlands.
Okay.
No, we issue about 1,000 visa each month.
Okay.
But of course a lot for businessmen, and maybe we talk about that later.
Okay, yes, of course.
But for tourists, I rely upon the statistics of your ministry.
Yeah.
And they say every year 65,000 tourists are visiting the Netherlands.
Okay.
But quite a lot go to Paris and then later to the Netherlands. So and they're not flying to Amsterdam. So that is substantial.
Okay.
And I think that the Netherlands is by many Taiwanese seen as a good destination for holidays, to say.
Yes.
For Taiwan, it's a bit more difficult.
Because?
The Dutch tourists, they like to lay down on the beach.
That's right, to
swim.
warmer climate.
And there are not so many opportunities in Taiwan. You can have that in Kunting.
Okay, yes.
The development of the coastal area for tourism only started.
Yes.
You see it changing now.
Yes.
There are more and more
improving.
More and more places where you can have some coffee on the beach. And,
Yes.
So it is improving.
Yes.
But it's not up to the standard of the European tourist.
Yes.
European tourists should come here for hiking, for diving,
cycling,
and for surfing, for instance. But for mass tourism, there's a lot to do, and you should not forget that a lot of the tourism, let's say, facilities, there's not so much in English, and a lot is in Mandarin, which is a problem for our tourists. So there are not so many coming, but since a year there are Dutch tourism agencies making programs, 4 trips to Taiwan. So we make progress.
Yes. Interesting you brought up about some of our facilities here are not very internationally oriented. For example, the English is not readily available, and then it makes tourism a little more difficult to promote back home. And you and I also talk about Taiwan and the Netherlands have a lot of similarities. We're both not too big in size, and our population size is roughly the same, even though Taiwan's a little more than the Netherlands. But the fact of the matter is, on average, a Dutch person will probably speak 2 to 3 languages. In Taiwan, that we a little embarrassed to say that we're still trying very hard to promote the use and the education of English. What are the lessons that you can offer those of us in Taiwan?
In the first place, it is not so bad as people say.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's encouraging.
Certainly at universities, young people are all very helpful when you meet them on the street. They are able to communicate with you in English, and in business there's no problem whatsoever. Okay. If you go to the countryside, of course, that is much more difficult. Yes. But anyway, if for Taiwan is like the Netherlands. Yes. You depend not
trade
on the home market,
yes.
on trade, on your contacts with other parts of the world.
Precisely.
And it is imperative.
Yes.
You have to be good in English.
Okay.
Otherwise, you cannot do it. And that is one of the advantages we have in Holland. So we're not an English-speaking country.
Okay.
For sure, everyone is able to communicate in English,
yes.
to speak English, which is not totally true, but enough to conquer the world.
Yes.
And for countries of the size of Taiwan and the Netherlands, that should be.
Yes.
That should be.
Yeah, that should be part of the fundamentals to make us more internationally in tune. Yes, and also Ambassador Goedhart is one of the few diplomats living in Taiwan that have traveled extensively throughout the island. When we come back after this short break, we'll talk with Ambassador Goedhart about his experiences traveling in different parts of Taiwan and what kind of promotional activities that the Office of the Netherlands Trade and Investment Office in Taipei is doing to try to promote ties between the Netherlands and Taiwan. We'll be right back.